in honor of our four-leggeds and two-leggeds, if there's any two-leggeds, in honor of all the animals, I have just a few little quips that I found. They're just so funny. These are signs that veterinarians put up in front of their buildings. And it's so good. For instance, did you know that the Energizer Buddy was arrested? Charged with battery. Oh, come on! This is my favorite. This actually could be put out anywhere, as you know, but it's funny because you know how if you go into an establishment and the parents disappear, whoever's in that establishment feel really responsible for the children. And I can see that in a veterinary office, they might leave the kids in the lobby and then take the dog or the animal, or the cat or the bird into one of those. Yeah, you've been there too. Like, oh no, not the room. That's what Sophie would say. Not the room, not the room. Anyway, take them into one of those rooms. Well, so this veterinarian put this sign up. Unattended children will be given a cappuccino and a free kitten to take home. That would do something, wouldn't it? Then, this is my favorite. Let's see if it goes over better than first service. This veterinarian put this sign out. Live nude dogs. Live nude dogs. Free lap dances. It did go over better, second service. You are a totally different group. First service, they all went, ooh, ooh. And I had to remind them, this is not your grandmother's church. What? I'm so grateful. Yes, honey, I know. Are you my best friend? Are you my best friend? I'm so grateful that we started this tradition about 6 years ago because it teaches me once again that love is only real when you're paying attention to it and it's moving. It's not that love isn't available, isn't true, capital T, but it's not real. Like, so Hawaii. Somebody's going to Hawaii. People live on Hawaii. But to me right now, it's not real. Does it make sense? It's real when you're experiencing it. But you have to pay attention and feel it to experience it. For instance, man. That's just, preach, sister. Preach. Preach. It's not, no, big dog, I'm going to get you. It's really just preach. I can handle it. That's okay. Say anything you want. Except I do need to remember where I was. Okay, so right now, pay attention to your breath. I notice I say pay attention to your breath. You breathe in, you breathe out. Well, you've been breathing since you got up. In fact, you breathed all night. You breathed yesterday. But it wasn't real to you unless you paid attention to it, right? Unless you pay attention and you focus and you feel it going in and you feel it going out, unless you feel the expansion, it's there, it's true, but it's not real. It's real when you can consciously be aware of it. And the same thing with love. Love is true, it's constant, but it's not real unless it's active and moving in your life. Thus, pets. Think about it. What a fabulous idea the universe had to teach us always to allow ourselves to experience that exchange, that movement, that shared energy that we could call love. Now, the whole month has been about intelligence, to live intelligently. And if you want to go back and view the the talk from September 3rd, I invite you to do so because it was very intelligent. But I will give you a synopsis, a quick little bit of it. Basically, intelligence can be defined as information, thus intelligence agencies, which are only information gatherers. We've got intelligence on you means we know something about you, information. Or it has also been defined as the ability to learn and respond to the environment so that we can live well and thrive. So if you can't respond to the environment, you're not intelligent. Now, viruses can respond to the environment. I want to be as smart as a virus. I want to be able to respond to the environment in such a way that I thrive and do well and prosper. And prosper means to bear fruit. Don't you? Now, rocks don't respond so well to the environment. The environment shapes them, but they can't respond to it, so that's less intelligence. Now, I define being smart as using your intelligence. If something's happening all around you and you're not allowing it to benefit you, that's not very smart. So we're all exposed to intelligence. We have the capacity. I mean, if a virus can learn, we can learn. If a virus can respond and shape its environment, so can we. We're the one that can choose not to, which isn't very smart. Now, what does that have to do with pets? Pets give us information about how we can benefit, how we can do better. Now, they give us this information, it's not in a book, it's just by their very presence. We have information now that tells us something that we've been doing at the center for a very long time, and I finally get why it works. We have information that says that the experience of connection, caring, and concern for others is beneficial to the one caring. So when you are concerned for others, when you pray for others, when you are feeling connected with another, it's good for you. We've been doing this a long time. I've invited people to be in small groups if they're in a class. I've invited the small groups to create year-long sanghas where they continue to meet each other during the year. That connection, where once you get there, you pray for the other people in the sangha. That's what you do. You pray for the other people in the sangha. I've said it that so many times that the miracles happen in this thing called Beyond Limits because it happens in the small groups. And I thought it was because the people were praying for whoever was asking for the prayer. So let's say Jack is in a small group. He's got 6 people around him. Jack says, I want this. And everybody prays for him and he gets it and life is better. And I thought it was because people were praying for him. New evidence. Life gets better for Jack, not because he's being prayed for, but because he's also praying for 6 other people. There's a woman who loves to do experiments with consciousness. Her name's Lynn McTaggart. How many of you heard of Lynn McTaggart? She does a lot of work with intentions where she gets groups of people to intentionally pray for and wish well for a segment of the population. I'll call it a petri dish. I love petri dishes. I love taking measurements and seeing how things are. And so she would ask people to pray for areas to decrease crime or to increase employment or whatever. And as it turned out, those things would happen. But she shifted a little bit. She wrote a new book about the power of 8. Because for a year, she took over 200 people, put them in groups of 8, and they would take on different segments of her country. She lives in England. different segments of the country, and they would intentionally see shifts and benefits happening in those areas in the country. And yes, they would see shifts. Statistically, things were happening. But she said the real eye-opener for her was that everyone in those small groups, their lives got better, and yet they weren't praying for themselves or each other. Their lives got better and better. They got the jobs. They got the promotion. They had healings in their family. They got physically better. Everyone was getting better. And so it makes so much sense. They were putting the intention out for well-being, and all that could come back to them, according to Einstein, is what they've been putting out. They gave out good intentions, and good came back to them. Multiplied, pressed down, and running over, like Jesus said. So, what I find interesting is that before knowing this about Lynn McTaggart, I had started a program called A Year of Mystical Living, and we did things to just know God. Just know God in our life, and then just know God as a person, and then just know God in a small, definable group. And then people were taking on larger things. And so one group took on the war in Syria. One group took on North Korea. One group took on homelessness in Seattle. And one group took on politics in Washington, D.C. And all of them are seeing things. I can say that Artemis just sent me an email this morning saying that the day after her group started praying for Syria, which has the longest running war right now in any place in the world. And Artemis is born in Syria. She gets all the Syrian news, and she said the very next day, the big news that was coming out was more positive than she'd seen since the war started. This is amazing. So many of you come here because you want your life to be better. Dedicate your life to making something else better, and your life will be better. That's the way that it works. Because when you get a bigger you, which means different than it's just about me, it's just about me, it's just about me. When you get a bigger you, the universe has something bigger to flow through, which means more blessings and more love. And that's what a pet does. Now you're probably wondering, what's this got to do with your dog? You come home and your dog and cat doesn't say, well, I shouldn't say, I don't know what they think about your clothes. I doubt they think about it. But when you come home, you don't say to yourself, oh, I wonder if my dog likes my shirt. The dog is there loving you, and you're loving the animal, the dog, the cat, the ferret, the pigeon, the parrot, whatever. You love that, and it loves you back, and you start to experience a shift. You get bigger, and then life gets bigger for you. I know. I so agree. I remember getting Sophie as a puppy, and I thought I was loving. I had no idea what love was until I was willing to absolutely adore something that was willing to poop all over the house. I know. You know? And then she was a puppy, and she'd eat things that weren't good for her. And then it'd come out the other end. And to adore, absolutely adore it. Because it wasn't about what I got. It was that I had the opportunity to love. And that this animal didn't evaluate what I did. It appreciated everything that we did. She loved it when I cooked, no matter what I cooked. And if it didn't turn out well and we didn't eat it, she loved it even more. This little bit of Wisdom could also be put another way. This is from Dean Koontz. He said, petting and scratching and cuddling a dog could be as soothing to the mind and heart as deep meditation. So how many of you hate to meditate? Well, you tell yourself you do. Be honest, there's more than one of you. I know you're in a spiritual center and you're supposed to be really holy. How many of you don't like meditating? Great. Get a dog or a cat or a bird. Petting and scratching and cuddling a dog, and this is obviously a dog lover because cats do the same thing, could be as soothing to the mind and heart as deep meditation and almost as good for the soul as prayer. I love it. Almost. Not quite. I still have a job. Now, why does this happen? Why is it that intending good for another, and why is it that caring for something that can't repay you? Do you see how selfless that is? A child, a puppy, a kitten, a neighbor. When you care about them and they can't repay you, why is that good for you? It's good to know why that works. Why does that happen? Well, here's the healing truth behind all major world religions. And when I say all major world religions, I mean the heart of those religions, because religions were created so that the individual consciousness could be conscious of the greater yet to be, so that the individual could become conscious of the universal. That's why religions were created. Religions were not created to set up rules that you had to obey. They were not created so that there were hoops that you could feel good about because you jumped through them so you get some sort of prize at the end. This is not, human agility. That's not what religions were for. The founder of every religion, whether it was Jesus or Buddha or the people that wrote the Upanishads or Muhammad, they were all setting something up. They were the language spoken in that time and place so that the individual could know their oneness, be conscious of their oneness with the divine. To become conscious of it, like take a deep breath, so that they could say, you're one with God, and they go, So all the practices were for that, not to make us wrong, but to lift us up to know that we've always been right, that we've always been loved. So that's the purpose of all major world religions. Rabbi Shapiro said, the truth shall set you free. The freedom, that truth, will bring you the freedom from the illusion of otherness that fuels a sense of fear and alienation that drives so many ego-centered lives. So ego-centered lives, it's all about me, gives us a sense of fear, but that sense of fear and that sense of having to protect ourselves comes from the illusion that we're not one with everything. And you show up, you have a puppy show up in your house and you become pack, right? And it's just your pack. You're all together. I adopt you. Now a cat does the same thing after they've gone under everything and on top of everything and made sure where all the crevices were and where they could hide if they needed to. And then they did not adopt you. They hire you to do their bidding. And we love it, don't we? So it's intelligent to allow ourselves to care about something else because that something else is the avenue through which we open our heart, and then the universe can show up in a greater way in all areas of our life. I want to just share with you a little bit about how I think the universe works. And I'm not just thinking this, although I think this. I also get this from Rabbi Shapiro and others who have written a book called The New Testament of World Religions. And it is his idea, and I really want to support this. I'm not sure how we'll do that, but I think I'll start somehow next year. It is his idea that this book, the New Testament of World Religions, is put in every hospital and in every hotel room, just like the Gideons have put the Bible. So that when people are in distress or they're lonely or they're really bored, they open up the drawer and there will be a Bible and a New Testament of World Religions. Because what he found, and he's definitely used authorities from every world religion, is that in many ways they're all saying the same thing, and what they're saying is called a perennial philosophy. And so I'm getting this from him and his work, or at least repeating it from him, but I've known it for a while. There's three ways to look at God. One is there's this ultimate reality. And the other one is this self, this real self of ourself that is still God. And then there's the eternal I am. So to define that a little bit, ultimate reality is the infinite. It is the whole thing. It transcends finite reality. The real self is that part of the infinite that has chosen to express as creation. It's a part of me. It is the eternal part of me, but it's the eternal part of that dog. What's that dog's name? Augie. Augie. See, I put him to sleep. Look, can't even call him awake. Notice how they're all settling down? My voice is magic. Not in a good way, not in a good magic. Put dogs to sleep. Anyway, it is that eternal aspect of all creation. It's that which is always around, and it takes a form and then it releases the form. And it's also part of the eternal I. And the I in Judaism has sometimes been defined for some of us. We've read it as I am that I am, but it could be more clearly defined as I will be what I will be. And it is that quality of God that shows up in everything, but it's not subject. We can't call it a name. It's not Jesus. It's not Jehovah. It's not Allah or Allah. There's no name for it. It's just the quality. And we like to talk about that. Qualities of God like truth and love and life and all those things. It's the isness. In Buddhism, it'd be the suchness of stuff. And when you can know the ultimate reality, you can start to know its suchness, its quality, outside and inside. And one of the qualities is love. One of the qualities is connection and oneness. You can't take oneness out of creation. You can't take love out of creation. But you can become aware of it, just like your breath. Breathe. And so when we are caring for someone else through our prayers and our intentions, or we're caring for something else because it's hungry and we better give it some food, we can experience oneness, which is love. It became very clear to me back on this idea that there's an illusion that we can have of separation. And it became very clear to me that that there aren't two opposites, love and fear. How many of you have heard that the opposites are love and fear? You're either, in love or feeling fear. No, we're either feeling oneness, which feels like love, or we're experiencing separation, which will cause fear. The only way to really allow ourselves to overcome fear is to court oneness by caring about something beyond ourselves. And the more we care about something beyond ourselves, then that opens us up to care more about something beyond ourselves and more about something beyond ourselves, and we experience that like love. Just like you breathe in and breathe out, and you experience the breath in your nostrils and in your chest expanding. You experience it as life. And we experience love through the giving. Now, why is this important? Because love heals. Love heals. You can't heal something, which means to reveal its wholeness, without loving it. Oh, darn. If you want to reveal wholeness, there has to be love. Love heals. Everything else is a mental fix. Now, you can fix things, but it's not whole yet. It just has to be fixed. How many of you are using your prayers and your mental agility to prop stuff up sometimes? Nobody? First service, they do it. Notice how the dogs are all falling asleep? I will not take it personally. 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 Love heals, and it's important that we understand that we don't want to go beyond fixing. And pets teach us to love because we feel one with them, and they feel one with us, and we feel more love that we can, like I did with Sophie, extend it into everything. Too many times, I have in the past taken something that I would take it into prayer, but I really hated the thing. How many of you have ever taken it to prayer, but you don't like the thing? You don't like the condition of being unemployed. You don't like the condition of being this or being that. The highest working law is the law to know there's nothing to do except love it and let God do the work. And pets teach us that. We love them. We love them and we think we train them. Isn't that funny? And how many of you know you just got trained? They trained you. Yeah, I know. See, that's an amen. So I would love for us to have an experience of love. In a moment, I'm going to invite our wonderful guests with a +1 to come forward, and we'll spread out and be somewhere up here. So bring your animal up here so people can come up to you. Now let me tell you everything. And then I'm going to invite our wonderful prayer practitioners and ministers to come up and bless the animal. And I tell you, I had to really move people along because there was this thing. Don't hog the pet. Love and bless and then move on, okay? Can you do that? Love and bless and then move on? All right. So the prayer practitioners are going to love and bless the pet and then move on. And then, as they get out of the way, I'm going to invite all of you to come up and take a pet, and I'll tell you, there were pet hogs first service, going from pet to pet to pet to pet. But find a pet, go up, and just spend a moment, just look at it, and it will wag its tail or avoid you or whatever. But there's going to be a bunch of love up here. Come and be in the atmosphere of love. I just invite you to. So right now, animal owners with their +1, please come forward. You have to wake them up. Yes, come on up on stage. Now, yeah, oh yeah, come on. Oh yeah, you're back for some more, aren't you? Yeah. Okay. You need to maybe sit down on this edge. Great. People with small dogs could sit down on the edge so that you can get your dog closer to everybody. Great. Now, I invite all of our prayer practitioners to come up, pick an animal, and give it a blessing. Well, I'm going to bless these two.
Hello, babies. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. I bless you. I know that you are God's gift to these two beautiful women so that their lives are fuller and more full of love. And you're going to do a great job of doing it.
All right. Quickly, the practitioners are blessing. Wonderful. And we can put you right here. And the practitioners are moving out. so that others can now, the rest of you, come up, take an animal, and let the animal bless you back. Oh, especially the noisy one over there. Good. Notice the ones that really want to get attention, like this one. Yes.
They fall asleep because they're sensitive.
Oh, good. Thank you. Okay, if you've allowed an animal to love on you, move out so somebody else can do it. I know, it's pet gluttony. I know. Hi, babies. Okay, once you've loved on the animal, move on. There's animals over on the side. For those of you that are bunched up in one area, there's a bunch of animals over on the side. Okay, if you've had a blessing, move on out. You want some more attention, don't you? I could have all the attention. I could be.
She saw you come out wagging her tail.
I love it. I want attention. Oh yeah, I have attention. I love attention. Okay, if you've had your pet moment, move out so someone else can come in. It goes on forever and ever. Uh-oh. All right. Come on and move. Everybody back to their seats.
This is Luca.
Hi, Luca. Hi, Luca. Oh, no, I'd rather meet a dog. Yeah. This is like dog park with music. I'm okay, honey. Thank you, though. All right. I know it's hard to stop the love fest. Thank you. I love it. You know, dogs have nice boundaries. They say, that's enough. Leave me alone. Okay, everybody.
Back to your kennels, everybody.
We had our first rabbit, I think. I have a gift for you. Some of you may want to color this, but on the back there's a spiritual practice with a pet. So if you don't have a pet, please feel free to give this to someone that does, because I bet you have a friend with a pet. And I found it an incredibly enlightening practice. And it's actually something, I do something similar with my cat, because I like meditating, and I like journaling, and I like preparing my talk with my cat around purring. And so I tell her that that's her job. Okay, it's work day, come on. She's like, okay. Well, I liked my kibbies, I'll be with you. All right, let's just take a deep breath and be aware of the love. This energy up here was so amazing, the wanting to connect. If you looked at one of the dogs saw me from afar, like, here she comes. It's like, who do you go for? The one that almost attracts you. Like, who do you want to be with? And it wants to be with you. That's kind of the way things work. There's a lot of truth in that. So let's just take a deep breath. And remember, in your breath, when you take a deep breath, you're aware of breathing, you're aware of life. You're still alive. First thing you did when you incarnated into this existence was breathe. The last thing that you will do when you leave your body is breathe. So we are aware of life in our breath, and we are aware of love when we reach out and connect with another. I'm so grateful that the beautiful, wonderful animals here allowed us to connect with them. I'm so grateful to everyone that brought their animals so we could connect with them. Holy is the I Am. Holy is this experience of oneness, which brings us love, which lets us heal. Thank you, God, and so it is.